Hello guys. Today I think it is finally time to show that what ideas I had about the Ryzeal engine in Dogmatika. But before I actually go into this, I will have to say I did not have much testing, more like any testing at all with this specific deck. This is basically just a concept. Because it's not worth it for me to test the Ryzeal format because it comes in December 1st. I have been testing other decks and well, it has been going great, as you see. Yeah, it is indeed a very fun testing environment when you have to face stuff like this, if you have the RNG like this. But anyways, let's get into the actual deck. And if you're wondering what I'm testing here, it's White Forest as a Mina. I'll maybe make a video as soon as I got the cards about this deck. I think it is really good, even though there are probably better decks about this. But let's get into the actual meat because you guys are here for Dogmatika content rather than other decks. But if you want to see the White Forest Azamina stuff, go ahead. So the concept here with the Ryzeals is that Ryzeals are basically an isolated one card combo that for some reason, without activating any card effect, gets you an Xyz monster in graveyard, which by chance could also be even a Myriologic Aggregator, which plays really good into a board. And not only that, we also get an extra monster that we control for a relatively low value. And technically, you can even bridge with the Ryzeals into the Dogmatika engine. And I'll show everything like how it is supposed to work here. But if we go into ratios, um, arguably you should not play the Dogmatica ritual stuff in this deck and just play more Ryzeals and just play Ryzeals with a bajillion hand traps and just win the game by hand trapping your opponent and then having the one card starter like every other deck is doing right now. Um, but since we are not that boring, I wanted to do it with the rituals because rituals are fun. So I'll say like rituals are probably not optimal in this deck, even though they have their merits. And honestly, probably all the ritual Dogmatica stuff is super power corrupt compared to other stuff because you need to control a monster to do this. And if you want to go first, it just kind of sucks. So we are playing three Thode Ryzeal, three X Ryzeal, the most broken starter in the game for no reason whatsoever, and two Bonfire to get to our X Ryzeal. Why not three Bonfire? Because we wanted to have a ratio of 8 cards, averaging us one card of these per duel, because we only need one of those. Yeah, for non-engine Ultimate Slayer, because it's good in the format and we're playing Aggregator. Fuvoros because Maxi, Imperm because Imperm is the best card ever printed, and Droplet because Droplet is fun and it combos very well with tactics. And for the Dogma engine, we play the standard stuff minus the fusion deployments because fusion deployment and Ryzeals do not like each other. But let's get into the extra deck now. We're playing everything standard except for when it comes to the Xyzes because Xyzes are not standard in the stack, usually. We play one aggregator. This is basically another target you can send off of Maximus, but most importantly, you're going to send this off of X Ryzeal to special summon this without even activating an effect, which is stupid. Your opponent cannot do anything about this. This is Ultimate Slayer if it was a starter. It's stupid. And I don't know what Konami thought when they designed this card. It's probably going to end on a ban list somewhere. One Baguska because we are not big fans of people just shiftering us. So we need a plan B if we get shifted. And as you know, Dogmatika is very susceptible to a shifter, and therefore a game plan for that is good. Alimbertion, one X Ryzeal or Thode Ryzeal can get you into an Alimbertion with 3 materials. And if we do that, we can technically search ourselves a level 4 monster, which is Ecclesia. So we would have an extra deck monster plus Ecclesia if we really wanted to. This flexibility is nice. And then one detonator, a non-once per turn pop that in reaction to your opponent's cards is really nice. This can pop like up to 3 times per turn, which is super duper unique and pog. Um, and yeah, also you can protect him from battle for some reason, I guess. And he also attaches an aggregator from graveyard, which is also very neat because you can detach the aggregator later to negate a card your opponent controls, which makes this card really good into Tenpai, and Tenpai is a problem. Okay, so let's get into how you would usually run the deck. Um, so this is like a perfect time to showcase this, but let's get rid of this stuff here. So what you could do, technically, you have two options if you activate Bonfire. So Bonfire will get you to X Ryzeal. And if we don't get shifted here, we can just special X Ryzeal by sending, in our case, the Baguska. And then this thing will, on summon, search yourself the other Ryzeal, which is the Thode Ryzeal. And then you can go for Thodes, special summon them onto the field. So we didn't not normal summon yet. Then you can activate his effect, search yourself another X Ryzeal. And now you have either the option to normal summon the X Ryzeal and go for a 3-mat Alimbertion, or you go for a 2, or you overlay right now and keep this in extra deck just to send another aggregator later. So now we can like overlay this for a detonator in this case. Uh, and now we would have the option to attach the Baguska, or if we wanted to go a little bit more greedy, instead of attaching a Baguska, we could send and attach an aggregator. So let's do this. We, of course, always summon this in the extra monster zone. We are not Runic players. We always block the extra monster zone. And then you can do like Nadir Servant and do your normal Dogmatika stuff by doing the setup here. So in this case, if you just open Nadir Servant, you can go for this, and just set up the punishment and the fleur, and you still have an X Ryzeal in your hand. And even if you like punishment lock yourself, you're still kind of fine because you can special summon this and send the aggregator again. If you play multiple aggregator, that's even better. But in this list, we are not. So that is like the main idea. But what you can also do, instead of going for the detonator, if you want to go into a harder Dogmatika line, like for example, you're playing against plants and you really don't like them to have an extra deck, what you can do, for example, is activate Bonfire. Then you go ahead and, like, let's say we open Calamity in this case. We go Bonfire, search for X Ryzeal. Then we special send Baguska because we are going to banish something. We're going to activate X Ryzeal, searching for Thode Ryzeal. We're gonna normal summon special summon Thode Ryzeal. Thode Ryzeal is going to add ourselves another X Ryzeal. And then we can normal summon the X Ryzeal. And then we can overlay for 3 for Alimbertion. And then you can go Alimbertion, detach 3. And then we can search ourselves our Ecclesia. Now, the issue about this is this guy will just be sitting around, but that's fine. And then we can special summon her. She gets ourselves, in this case, either Dogmatika Matrix or a Maximus. But for showcase, let's get ourselves a Maximus because it is the same, a similar value technically. So we go Maximus, then we send ourselves an Arclight and a Titaniclad, and then we add ourselves the Albazoa, and then we can Calamity for Albazoa and send this, and then we get ourselves our complete Dogmatika setup in the end phase, which is this and this. It's still worth it to play Cartesia because you can still fuse away your Dogmatika monsters that you don't need. And you still have an extract monster that you can use for when Fleur de Lis comes up, which is good. But yeah, that's what you can do with this. Yeah, sadly, this Alan Burson is like sitting there with no use whatsoever. He's literally just a body. Um, yeah, that is what you can do with this deck. We can do a couple more test hands and see what happens. In this case, we could normal summon Thode Ryzeal. If we bait a hand trap, we can Bonfire for X Ryzeal, and then we can still do the full thing, and then we go Nadir Servant, and yeah, we basically do what we think is good, and we have pretty good card advantage there. This hand, you Bonfire for the X Ryzeal, you special summon the X Ryzeal. If your opponent imperms it, that's fine. You can either normal summon Ecclesia or yeah, you can normal summon Ecclesia, go for Matrix, and then set up your ritual stuff. It's fine. And you could even go for a Maximus there because your opponent can. You already have an extra deck card in the graveyard. This hand is dog shit. And this hand has way too many Ryzeal cards, but we are fine by going Bonfire here. And we would go add ourselves an X Ryzeal. And then we could special summon the X Ryzeal effect. If your opponent hand traps you, you normal summon the next X Ryzeal, and then you overlay for your detonator, and then you still go in a Dear Servant. So you eat hand traps really well in this deck. And you get this, of course. Of course, not as a summon monster. But yeah, that is mainly like the point of the Ryzeal cards. They just trade very well into cards, and this hand is literally normal summon Cartesia and Hope. Thode Ryzeal. In this hand, we normal summon Thode. Activate Thode. If it gets ashed, you go for a Tactics. And then you set yourself a punishment, and then you have three interactions. If it does not get hand trapped, you add yourself an X Ryzeal. Then you special summon the X Ryzeal by sending the aggregator, then aggregator effect. You can technically aggregator effects to chain block the X Ryzeal, which is also really important. You can go chainlink one Ryzeal to search, chainlink to X Ryzeal to search, chainlink to aggregator to negate the Thode Ryzeal if you start like this, and that chain blocks the X Ryzeal. So keep that in mind. As said, it's really unbalanced. This card is definitely ban worthy. So in this case, we add ourselves another Thode Ryzeal. And then you can go overlay for Detonator. Or you can just special summon the Thode Ryzeal here, and then you can overlay for Alan Burson. And then we could technically go for a full Dogmatika setup, depending on what you like more. So in this case, we get ourselves an Ecclesia effect, search ourselves In this case, we could search ourselves the matrix because matrix is less greedy. Then we go matrix, search ourselves the ritual spell. Then we ritual summon this thing. And technically we can now be Nibiru'd, but that's fine because if we get Nibiru'd, we still have Luluralith in graveyard. So let's say we get Nibiru'd here. Um, we can now activate Thrust. We can search ourselves Nadir Servant. And then we can go Nadir Servant, send Garura in this case, add ourselves the Dogmatika Maximus. Then Garura triggers, draws you a card, activate Maximus, banishing the Alimbertian, effect Maximus, we dump, then we add ourselves to our hand the ritual spell. So we set this in def because Nibiru is big. Then we add ourselves the ritual spell, and then we can go like this, and then special summon this out by by tributing the Nib token and banishing the Arclights, special summon this out. And then we can force your opponent to mill the extra deck, and then we can look into the extra deck. In this case, if we get nibbed, which is really solid. And then in the end phase, we still get ourselves the Fleur de Lis, and we get to special summon the Cartesia. So this is just in case if this hand got nibbed, by the way. So fairly hand trap resistant. The only thing that is an issue with this deck is that it just folds to board breakers. Specifically, evenly matched is insane against this deck. And yeah, I just quickly got to read Detonator. What is nice about Detonator is you can pop your own cards, so you could technically save your Albazoa from evenly matched, and then still keep like an interruption set here, which is good. So definitely keep that in mind when you get evenly matched. But yeah, back to the deck. This is the current list that I would be testing if I would be testing this deck. The actual deck I want to test right now is White Forest Azamina because I love the White Forest cards. They're super fun. And the Azamina cards definitely fix a lot of issues that the White Forest cards have. So if you guys have any suggestions about this, go ahead. Maybe it's worth to go for a harder Ryzeal package in this deck. Maybe not. I don't know if Fuva Ross is amazing or mid in this coming format. I think people are overestimating how good it is because a lot of decks will have combos that go around that like let you draw once or twice with Fuva Ross. So it's not amazing. But those combos you can usually break very well with Dogmatika cards, and the Ryzeal cards definitely help by doing that. So they are not like an engine that does not beat boards at all because X Ryzeal is a custom card, like the most customest custom card that has ever customed. And yeah, that's basically the deck idea. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.